Post-traumatic stress disorder is a well-known mental illness, and its prevalence among first responders is going to be a big topic of discussion at the State House in October, as a new commission is required to have a report by the end of the month on whether first responder PTSD should be covered under workers' compensation. Joining us today to discuss the issue are State Rep Mark Prue, a Republican from Manchester, Russell Conti, a retired major with State Police who now works on mental health and wellness issues for the Department of Safety, and Chief David Goldstein of the Franklin Police Department. Gentlemen, thanks for being here today.
Thank you.
Chief Goldstein, let's start with you. I want to take you back. One of the most horrific crime scenes in the history of New Hampshire, a quadruple homicide in 1991 in October in Concord. A man killed his wife and his 3 young daughters, 2, 1, and 10 weeks. It had to be a terrible thing, and you were a lead investigator on that case. I'm imagining, even as I say this, it's conjuring images for you. What resources were available for you back then to deal with what you had seen?
At the time, there really weren't any resources whatsoever. We basically would meet at night at a Dunkin' Donuts or something of that nature and just talk about things, if we in fact even met and talked about it. For the most part, you were expected merely to do your job and then move on to the next scene.
And that had consequences, not just for you, but I mean in general for first responders.
It certainly did, all around, and we found that for years, quite frankly, actually decades. And the consequences were exactly what we're seeing now, but at least now it's out in the public eye.
And Representative Prue, you were a Nashua firefighter from 1980 to 2010, correct?
Correct.
And in that time, you said that PTSD not actually was there, it got progressively worse and continues. What's driving that trend?
We're seeing more calls, more horrific calls. So not only are you seeing the bad ones, but you're seeing more of them, right? And the culture that's there, we don't reach out for help because, one, not many people know there's help. And there's still that stigma that we're the tough guys and we're supposed to just suck it up and keep going. But, you know, we have an S on our chest, sleep tall buildings, but really underneath, we're humans like everybody else, and we have those same emotions that we need to address.
And Major Conti, the culture is probably the hardest thing to change. It's something you're working on right now. You know, we think of police, firefighters, EMTs as the tough guys, and rightly so, but you still got to deal with all of the stuff that gets processed up top.
Sure, they're humans first always. They have families. They have all the same concerns as everybody else. I've said many times before, you know, police officers, firemen, they live amongst you. They're your neighbors, your friends. They shop at the same places. And it's all taken to heart. And really what happens is you have first responders that see this on a daily basis, sometimes professionally, and they have their own endeavors at home and they have stresses at home, and it kind of all comes together. But in reality, there has to be an outlet. And I think now we're doing a much better job of providing services for people, and really it's, like you said, a cultural change. What we've also done is we've made it all right. And for many, many years, it wasn't okay. There was a fear, there was a stigma. And I think that's really what everybody here is committed at, is minimizing that, eliminating that, allowing people to come for help and really view that as a strength. Instead of holding it inside and letting it, you know, determine who you will become, or become a disciplinary issue, or just become an issue in your own family and break up your family, is to come out with it and show the strength and heal and get the help that you need.
And Chief Goldstein, what do you do differently at Franklin PD than was done back in the day, I guess, in terms of dealing with this?
We look for the signs and symptoms now, if you will. If we see somebody that's having some difficulties, we certainly, my supervisors and my officers are asked to intervene and just talk about it. At the same time, we've adopted policies and procedures, and quite frankly, we're trying to get above it and just educate people, our own people and the people in the profession as a whole, as to what to look for. And we also just want to make sure that when we do go to these scenes, when we do take care of these issues, whatever they happen to be, these critical incidents, that in point of fact, we make sure we're okay afterwards. So we might have a very informal debrief. You're all right? Yeah, fine, let's move on.
I remember Representative Prue at one of the more recent commission meetings, you were talking about how any incident, no matter how seemingly low-key, can still trigger a traumatic event from the past for a first responder. You mentioned a suicide that had done that for a colleague.
Yep. So as we go through life, we pick up personal baggage, right? And it can make a call personal for us. And the thing about critical incident stress is that what affects me may not affect anybody else, and what affects everybody else may not affect me at that moment in time. So we may think that a call is a nothing call, but to one person it may be pretty horrific because it brought back memories from the past and their history. So we have to be aware. And I will say the culture is changing. Departments that have never used us, I've been the chairman for the Granite State Critical Incident Stress Team for almost 30 years now. And departments that would have never used us before are actually reaching out when they have these bad calls and are utilizing our services.
And you guys intervene and actually go in there and speak to the first responders, the boots on the ground, to make sure they're okay mental health wise after a critical incident.
Yeah, and when we do a debriefing, we're like the gateway, right? We make it okay for further mental health services by saying, hey, this is okay. I utilize them, a lot of people utilize them, and we want you to get through your career pretty much the same way you came in. And that's why we encourage you to get this help so you can enjoy your retirement.
Yeah. And Major Conte, you worked your way up in state police, so you've had a full breadth of the experience there. We heard in some of these commission meetings there's concern from the rank and file level that if they bring forward a mental health concern that suddenly their career track is forever changed. How do you make sure that that doesn't happen?
Well, I think with state police, it was a pivotal time for us, you know, about 8 years ago when we really formed a peer counseling unit. And what we did is it was formed within the ranks of the state police, its peers, but it was supported from the top down. And I think the message that needs to be sent to rank and file people, regardless of what organization they are as first responders, is that it is our right and it's supported and it's recognized. Because without that, there always is that innate fear. And there's things that can happen people to people professionally where they don't feel they're going to progress well in their careers, or they don't feel they're going to cope well, or they're embarrassed by it. It's the same stigma that everybody fights when they have, you know, issues of mental illness where there's challenges. So I think that was the biggest turning point, and for the state police to have a cultural change that now is becoming part of a new culture. So the hope is that it becomes the norm, and that a lot of what has happened in the past, we can't change that, but we are making changes, and we make it easier for everybody, which will make healthier people. And realistically, you have a tremendous amount of experience at the table here today. And we all hope that the young people that come in the door today can do that, those 3 decades plus. That's the goal, because this type of service is something that it's a lifelong endeavor. You learn constantly, you get better at it. Your ability to serve, you know, should increase, not decrease, but you have to maintain that, and it has to be cultural.
One of the toughest knots to untangle from a policy perspective here is who holds the risk, essentially. If you have an officer or a firefighter who has worked for 3 different agencies and then has to retire with cumulative PTSD, how do you figure out who pays for what? And Chief Goldstein, I'm not sure if this is in your wheelhouse or not, but you know, from a policy perspective, this is a tough one.
It is, and you're absolutely correct, because we do have officers and firefighters that move around and serve with different departments, and certainly there are times when it's difficult to pinpoint just where the issues might have begun. But they certainly have developed, and quite frankly, one side of me says I don't care, because we just want to take care of our people, because our people are taking care of the rest of the community. But on the other hand, I'm realistic enough to know that the point you raise is a very important one, and that's something that the Commission's trying to work out as we speak. And
Representative Prubel, let you get the last word as a legislator here. Do you think this is going to get done in terms of having PTSD covered by the state workers' comp?
I believe so. We've had a couple of meetings and we're progressing quite well. And to that last question, there's a fund that's set up. So if you came in with PTSD, it's the second injury fund or previous injury fund that covers that. So it kind of eliminates that whole problem.
All right, and we've seen some other states take action already. Gentlemen, we thank you for your perspective and for your service out there on the front lines of public safety in our state.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
Thank you.